So have you ever been spending time with me and been like, oh wow, I'm really craving a pad thai noodles or like a lovely Indian cuisine or a fresh pizza, and then you hear me just say like, yeah, sure. Let me just make it entirely from scratch for the next hour or two. Well, we're gonna do that. So let's get the flavors going. We get ourselves a large cutting board to work with. We'll do some good work on here. So I'm in a temporary kitchen, and I haven't found any measuring cups. This will be my cup, and we'll measure from here. We're using tipo double O. So here I have oregano, and here I have salt. This is about a tablespoon of oregano and a teaspoon of salt. Delicious, really, really yummy olive oil. And this is our spread. So we have oregano, salt, sugar, flour, yeast, oil, and I'm warming up some water. Okay, time to measure some of the things out. So for sugar, I'm just gonna add about a teaspoon. So I'm just gonna put with an eyeball. That's how I measure things. It's more fun this way. It's about a teaspoon. About a teaspoon of sugar. So here we have 25 grams. If we were making a little bit more pizza, I would use the whole thing. So I'm gonna use half. So we have about, our spoonful of sugar and a lots of yeast. So it's about 7 grams. It's 3 to 7 grams of dry yeast, or about 10 to 20 grams of fresh yeast, depending on how much you're making. I'm gonna start putting everything together. Add our sugar and yeast. A little bit of flour. A little bit of the salt. Just a little bit. Add a little bit of oil. I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit. Just gonna add a little more flour. Look at those bubbles. Our yeast is eating. I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes, about 5. Check out these bubbles. A few more minutes and we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, this really smells so amazing. This smells just incredible, yes. So I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to start off by adding the rest of our cup of flour. And we should add about a half a cup more, which, yes, I'm eyeballing. So I'm going to stir it up. I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil. And I'm going to add my oregano because I like it, and let's mix it up. Now what we have going on is I just started to use my hand because we're supposed to use a mixer, but I wanted to use my hand for this. I'm just going to make sure I don't add too much water. So it's looking good. So as you can see, I have a nice dough here and took all the flour off the sides of the pan. We're gonna let it sit. Now over here, I'm starting to make a little bit of sauce. So I had a green soup that I made that was full of veggies, full of herbs, that is just pureed celery and parsley and things like that, onions, carrots. So I use it as kind of like a broth. So I put that in the bottom, warmed it up with half of a white onion, some basil, about a handful of basil,
and about 2 juicy, delicious tomatoes. So I warmed it up for just a minute or two. Now I'm gonna let it cool down and puree it. Perfect, smells amazing. So now we'll just cook down our fresh sauce just to remove some of the moisture. See, nice. Good. So it'll be a nice chunky topping for our pizza. Turn it off. I think that's enough. Yeah, that'll be good to provide some moisture to our pizza also. I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil and stir it up, and this is gonna be ready to go for a topping for everything. So for some toppings, I've just prepared some sliced red onion and some sliced cherry heirloom tomatoes. We're also going to use some mozzarella, and we'll see what else, maybe some basil. We have our toppings getting ready to go. We have our garlic and olive oil with salt, olive taggiasche, some marinated olives, mozzarella, red onions, some heirloom cherry tomatoes chopped up, and our homemade sauce. Here I've got a big pan. So what I'm gonna do is cook the dough, yes, and then add the toppings, and then we're gonna transfer it to the oven here to get a final crisp on top. Is this illegal? Probably by all Italians, but this is just, I'm gonna use a really low heat right now and just start warming it up. You can see it's puffed up. It's looking really good. We're gonna take a look under. Ooh, it's perfect. Gorgeous. Time to add the toppings. I used this perforated rolling pin. Tomatoes. Look how nice and chunky it is. Now I'm gonna drizzle the garlic oil all over because it's yummy. Some tomatoes. Some of the olives. Some red onions. Well, gorgeous. No words.